I'm Michelle Hope of Diamonds and Diamonds, and welcome to your first Diamonds and Diamonds DIY Festival Flower Crown tutorial video number 1. That's a mouthful for you. Okay, this is video number 1, intro to your kit. So we're going to dive straight in and take a look at what's in the kit that you should have received in the post. You should have received in the post by now your box, your flower crown kit should be coming like this. Was it delivered with a fit postman with a nice bicep? Mine doesn't have a bicep. Anyway. Yes, so let's dive straight in. We're going to do the first thing that we need to look at in your kit before we go over to looking at my pretty hands, looking through the kit. The first thing we need to look at is the base. This is the first thing we're going to do, the very first thing that we're going to do. So in your kit you should find this, which should be a little roll of rustic wire. Okay, this is going to be the form of your base of your crown. So we need to look how to make this fit to your head. So first thing you're going to do, unwrap it. It's extremely flexible, so you shouldn't have any problems straightening it out. Now what you need to do is take it down by the back of your head, bring it up to where you want it to sit, fold it over. You'll have this kind of angle there. Should be nice and comfortable. Leave a little tiny bit of room, so once we've done the work and you've got the tape, you won't have any parts that will dig into your head. So you don't want it too tight, but you don't want it like really loose so it flops around over your eyes. So get it just to the right tension. Pinch in the middle and hold. So you should have your crown size, and you're pinching these parts here. What you need to then do is wrap this wire underneath and up, and wrap this wire underneath and up. Okay, so now you should have it in a locking mechanism that can't go anywhere. I'll show you that again. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that again. So you've measured your head, you're now pinching this here. So what you need to do is take this piece, take it under and bend it. This piece you need to take under and bend it back. So you now have that. So it can't go anywhere. Okay? Then you need to wrap this round like so, and wrap this round like so. Okay, so now you have your flower crown base. Let's go straight over and take a look at what's in your kit. Okay, so first up we've got the inventory list. So you should have one of these cards in there with the list of everything that you need. So let's move on. We've seen the rustic wire base and we've just done that for you. We've just made that into the base for your flower crown. Selection of flowers, selection of black leaves, black feathers, we should have around 10 of those, skulls and black flower caps, which we'll show you in a sec, which should be about 6 of those in total. We need to have silver spikes, 3 of, plastic bats, 5 of, selection of beads, which should be about 10, which is for the ribbons, selection of different ribbons, a bag of glue, a selection of wires and florist tape in strips. Okay, so let's go through that and show you in the kit now. So the first thing is you'll receive a bag full of flowers. This should have the flowers and a selection of black leaves. Okay. Little black flowers, little black orchids, you've got black leaves. So you've got little black orchids, little black flowers and a nice little selection of flowers there for you. Next up you receive another little small bag, a little leopard print bag, and this should have your ribbons in them. Okay, you should have a selection of smaller, shorter ribbons. These are the ones that are to dangle down the back for you, and we'll be attaching beads to those, and I'll show you how to attach them to the crown on the end of film 3. You should have one longer reel of ribbon, and this one should be plenty long enough to go around the whole of the crown when we've finished, and that will just cover up all of the little gaps in between the flowers, all the little green bits of tape, and obviously still have a little bit down at the back to trail. Next up, you should have a small little bag, and this should contain all of the beads that you need and the black feathers. You should have around 10 black feathers. Okay. Then you should have a selection of beads, which are your bats, your skulls, your spikes, your flower caps. You then should have a selection of different shape and colour and gauge wires. Okay, you should have a little bundle. These will come in a little bundle. There's little silver ones, little green ones, and then you should have one long thicker gauge wire. So that you should have a strips of florist tape. This is obviously a roll. You will not be getting a roll in your kit, you will be getting strips, so you should have around 15 odd or so cut 6-inch length strips. What you will need is a selection of tools. Now, it isn't actually on the inventory list of the list of stuff that you actually need, because we're going to go through that now. Okay. Now, I'm going to be using some cutters, wire cutters, this is my set that I use, and they're quite perfectly good enough. They're not jewellery sets. Jewellery wire clippers are a lot tinier, a lot smaller, so if you happen to be a person that makes jewellery and you have a pair of jewellery wire cutters, then please do use those. As with most of the tools that I'm showing you, you should be able to find these in your other half's toolbox, or maybe it's your own toolbox. I know I'm the one who does the DIY in my house. So yeah, so you need a pair of wire cutters. Next up, you need a pair of nose pliers, long nose pliers. This is the pair that I use. This is a trusty pair of nose pliers that I have had for so many years. My dad's had these long before me. They've even actually worn away all of the smooth thing. So this is a pair that I use quite a lot for when I'm working. But this, obviously, you may not have these. So this is the good equivalent of that, which you will find in toolboxes. The good thing with this is if you don't have a pair of wire cutters, you actually have a set of wire cutters in here. Most pliers do, so you shouldn't have any problems. Now, if you can't find the nose point ones, the long nose point ones, the snub nose point pliers are exactly the same. These are ridiculously old. These are a real Trojan pair of wire clippers. They've probably been around since the 60s. They were my dad's, but they are quite heavy, but they will do the job. Obviously, it's just to pinch little pieces of wire, and in most pairs of pliers you will get that cutter in there. So like I said, if you don't have a pair of separate cutters, which is really not a problem, you can have that pair of cutters in there. Okay, now these are actually £2.50 from B&M's home stores or pound shops. Should have quite cheap pairs of pliers. They're perfectly good enough for what you need, so if for any reason you don't have them lying in the house, this should be the only thing that you really need to worry about. If you really don't have these, or you really don't have a B&M or a cheap store, or you don't want to go and buy the extra tools, that is absolutely fine. You can use scissors, because we are only cutting small pieces of wire. The only thing I say is that don't use a pair of scissors that you don't want to damage, because when you cut wire, you will cut little chinks into your scissors, and they then will tear fabrics or papers or anything else that you may want to later on cut them with. So if you've got an old pair of kitchen pliers, kitchen scissors that you're happy to use, then you're welcome. These are what I normally tend to use for cutting up my little bits of ribbon, just a little pair of cross scissors. I've got so many different types of scissors, but yeah, just a pair of any old size scissors is absolutely fine. And if you want to use them for cutting the wires, make sure they're not a good pair. Last but not least is a lighter. Okay, just a straightforward lighter. You'll need to burn the ends of some of the wire and some of the ribbon. Okay, so that's everything in the kit that you need. Hopefully you're good to go. So that's it. We've now looked at the contents of your kit. You should have the understanding of what's in there for you. You should have a list of tools that you need to go and acquire for the next video. We've got your base made, so that's all great, and we are ready to rock and roll. So I'll see you back here for video number 2, making your components. This is where we'll talk through wiring all the flowers together and getting all the bits and pieces ready for video number 3 of building your crown, where we put it all together and finalise it. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!